Alright, welcome back to another episode of Crash and Time Trials. We're going to do booty calls, and this episode is going to be all of the levels on Salty Wharf. So, booty calls is the first one. This one's not too bad. There's just some weird patterns you got to deal with the enemies there. You just kind of move fast and get lucky with how they go across. That spin there, I often would blow up the TNT, so it's just a matter of getting lucky there as well. Same with this one up here. Sometimes the TNT will blow you up. Kind of sucks, but... So the mask we picked up, we're going to end up burning, because you don't get invincibility on this level anyway, so it doesn't really matter to keep them. But yeah, you're going to burn it right there, spinning to get that 3 box. So it's worth it, because honestly, there's not a whole lot that you're gonna need to burn that mask on anyway. And like I said, you don't get 3 in this level, so you're not gonna need to save it anyways for invincibility. But if you do collect all the boxes on this little grind section, when you land here, you should be at about 19 seconds, which is a pretty good time. So you could definitely do it faster, I would think, but that's a pretty good time, at least for me. So this part, you pretty much have to wait for this raft. There's not really anything you can do about it. I tried to slide and get across faster, but you can't make it. At least I couldn't make it. I mean, I didn't give it a whole lot of tries, maybe like once or twice, but I just decided my time was still pretty fast, so I just waited. Now this part, I jump up on the rail down here and slide jump to the center platform. And then jump to this. I should have jumped all the way, but I didn't. Would have saved me like 3 seconds probably. Probably could have gotten the Toys for Bob time even. But anyway, doesn't matter. So jump on that TNT and then just keep going as quickly as possible, because this is just the final stretch. There's really nothing in your way other than these enemies. We get to the end, and that is the platinum time for booty calls. 52.6 seconds. Yeah, I was only like 5 seconds off of Toys for Bob. Actually, almost only 4 seconds. A little bit over 4 seconds. So if I would have jumped to that platform and not had to wait, I probably would have gotten the Toys for Bob time. Which would have been crazy, because I wasn't going for that at all. And that was actually my first set time on that level. I mean, I had gotten almost to the end, but I like died right at the end, so I never set a time. So the first time I set a time was the platinum. Alright, anyway, now we're on the timeline level. Thar he blows with Dingodile. Dingodile's portion is really short, so you just gotta pretty much do it as quickly as possible. Just don't dwaddle, just jump and shoot the TNT off as quickly as possible so you can break the gates down, break the time boxes, whatever you need to do to get to the end of Dingodile's part as quickly as possible. Just throw that TNT immediately, you don't need it. If you don't know, Dingodile's TNT cannot hurt you if it's being shot out of his vacuum. If you explode a TNT that's standing on the ground, it can hurt you. But the TNT explosion from the vacuum will not hurt Dingodile. So anyway, I'm at 13 seconds here, which is pretty good, I think. Now there's a 3 box up there that's just really hard to get. I tried to get it every time. I didn't get it this time, but I did get it at least once or twice on other runs, but obviously this was the run I completed in the platinum time, so I just obviously didn't need it, but I always tried to get it. This part's a little tricky. There's nitro boxes, or the depth perception in that part is a little tough. I would often get blown up. So I do this the same way I did it in the other level, but this time I actually jump all the way to the platform I wanted to jump to. Lost a mask there, but it doesn't matter. This is all pretty much the same. I jump on this TNT and then just make my way across. There's a couple extra boxes here. There's some nitro you have to avoid, but it's all pretty easy to get by everything, and then you get the time. Toys for Bob time on this is crazy. I don't know how you would do this in 24 seconds. That's insane. But someone did it. I know people have done it, and obviously the developer did it. Alright, we move on to Hook, Line, and Sinker, which is Tana's level. And Tana doesn't really benefit from any of the speed things you can do with Crash and Coco, like the triple spin or like the slide spin. So you pretty much just have to book it through her level. That's really all there is to it. Go as quickly as you can, break all the time boxes you can, and just keep moving. Now there's plenty of masks in Tana's level, but she doesn't get invincibility if you get 3. It just does nothing. So don't even, if you have 2 already, don't even bother picking up another mask, especially if it's like one that's hard to reach, just because it's not going to benefit you at all. It's not going to give you an extra hit. It's not going to give you invincibility. Like, it's just a waste of time. So I would just recommend not picking it up. And I'll point out the one that I don't pick up because I don't need it. So now I have 2 masks, which I think there is only 3 in this level, but I don't pick up the 3rd one because it's just not necessary to pick up. So anyway, you can see I'm behind the ghost. I'm pretty much been behind the ghost the whole time. I don't really catch up to the ghost until the very end. This part's a little tricky. So once you get across that, the final part's pretty easy actually. I would say it's probably the easiest part of the level. This part's the trickiest, I guess, because of all the enemies and the crabs. Mr. Crab. Yeah, it looks like Mr. Crab. So anyway, right out there is the 3rd mask, which I just ignore because it doesn't benefit me to pick it up, so I'm not going to waste my time picking it up. And this is actually where I catch up to the ghost and pass the ghost. So this is the final section. I break this last time box. Well, it's not the last one, but I break that time box, and then this is the last time box. And we end the level. So the platinum time, I would think, is pretty generous on this. As long as you keep moving with her, you're going to get it. So definitely one of the easiest levels I've done so far. Now the final level in Salty Wharf is Jetboard Jetty. This one definitely gave me the most trouble out of all of them. There is some tricks with this level though, like the way you pick up the stopwatch to start the timer. You have to time it pretty perfectly. I wait until this firebox starts its fire and then I go. And if you do it that way, your timing should be right like this so you can catch the rope as soon as it comes back, and it'll put you ahead of the ghost. Like I'm well ahead of the ghost. I mean, the ghost catches back up to me, but the fact that I'm ahead of the ghost at the start just always makes me feel good, because this level is just, there's a lot of crazy timing stuff in this level. There's a lot of stuff that's cycle based, and if you're on a weird cycle, oftentimes if you die a bunch, I would recommend restarting the level, like going to the menu and restarting, instead of just respawning and starting over, because it'll reset all the cycles. So what you want to do here is you want to try to get ahead so you can get on the further out platform instead of the one that's just coming out from underneath the little pier that you're on. That way, you know, you get moving further down the side-scrolling path, and it just allows you to kind of move faster than the platforms move. So again, here you want to go as quickly as possible so you can get on the next platform ahead of the one you were just on. And if you can make it through this without losing your masks, that's amazing. Like I just did. I was pretty happy. That's like one of the very few times I did it that well. So I pretty much knew if I could do everything else and I'd get to the end, I would get the platinum time. I lost a mask there, but it's not a big deal. There's 2 coming up here in this portion. This portion you have Lonnie Lolly, and you might think that's going to be harder, but it's really not. This part with Lonnie Lolly is actually pretty easy. There's not a whole lot of stuff to switch that's really like dire. I mean, there's some crates you obviously want to switch to get, but a lot of these platforms, it's not that hard. And you'll have invincibility here, so you really don't have to focus on anything else other than just running and jumping and making sure you switch platforms. So this is the last part. Right here, and then we pick up this box. And now I have 2 masks, so I wanted to try to hold on to them as long as possible. I do lose one a little prematurely, earlier than I'd like to. but still got it in the end, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. But you want to try to make it through as quickly as possible without losing your masks. I would say until this part, so that way you have the most amount of chance to get through. Now, these are the last couple boxes. 53 is the time. I'm already at 48. And when I got on this Jetboard, I was pulling R2 and it wouldn't boost me. I don't know why. It was being super weird. But luckily, I still got the time, and I was super happy because this one took me a lot of tries. So, that is all 4 levels on Salty Wharf, all platinum times. If you watched and you enjoyed it, if I helped you with something, let me know. I always appreciate any kind of feedback. And the next time trial episode will be the next island. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I can't remember. So I'll see you then.